How you doing? Today I want to talk to you about equipment that you may use in your dog training. Now it's not all necessary, but I'm going to suggest some equipment that will make your training process easier, from long leads to short leads and so forth. So let's go through it. We've got Clara here today supervising. So let's start with your basic short lead. I've talked to you about this before. The lead length, about 5 foot's a good length. We don't want it too short for the reason that if you have it attached to your dog and we're using our pressure and release sort of method where the dog learns, if Clara comes over here, if the dog learns it's in the right spot, but you have it tight all the time, it's confusing to the dog. So we want it long enough that we can have a loose lead, dog knowing it's in the right position or in the wrong position. So that's your short lead. Now, from here, some people use gentle leaders, which, look, these are a good tool where they go around the dog's muzzle over top and control from the front. The only problem with these, if you have a dog that's, you know, a little bit out of control, quite boisterous, they can slip out of these. That being said, they are a good tool once you've got control of your dog and it knows to understand and listen. They lead from the muzzle instead of the neck, so you can gain good control. But I've seen many a dog back out of these, so I'm not a big fan of them necessarily for obedience training, but once your dog's under control, certainly can be a good tool. Generally, they're called a gentle leader. From there, we've got our long lead. These are about 15 feet normally. You could use a piece of rope. Otherwise, these leads are a great training tool. Now, they have no loop on the end for the reason that we don't want that to catch on people's feet or sticks or anything when the dogs are running around if they're doing tracking and things like that. So these are like a tracking lead, but also used for long lead training, which we will show you how to use. All good pet stores will sell these. Good quality lead that can get wet. It's not going to rot or smell or anything like that. You want something that can go in the water if needed and without the loop on the end. About 15 feet long. From there, we have our, what I call, generally a lot of people call them a choke chain or a correction chain. I tend to call them a check chain because in the end, all we are doing is checking our dog. Now, let's get Clara over here. Clara, come. Clara, Clara, good girl. Beautiful recall. Clara, good dog. And sit. Wow, that's a primary reward if I've ever seen one. Good girl. Now, how a check chain works, good girl, is when you put it through on the dog's neck, I want to turn the bottom of the check chain to the left. Feed it through itself, like so. So the loop is on the top of the chain. And then from there, this goes over the dog's neck. Now the reason being, if you look on the left-hand side here now, if I pull this and let it go, it slips loose, like so. But if I take that off and I turn it over, good girl. Now, if I do the same thing now, and I give that a pull, because the chain, it's on the top, if Clara shows you here, it can stay tight. You see how it's not slipping loose? It sits up the top there. It's not the same principle. We want it so it slips right down the bottom. You see there, it can't. I've got it the other way, and we don't want that. That stays tight. We want it, I'm going to show you once more just so you understand. We want it so it goes from there. I let it go, and you see it slips loose under the neck, and there's no pressure on the dog's neck. Thank you, Clara. Good demonstration. So that's your check chain. And then we have our little food reward pouch, which is handy. You saw me doing a lot of videos out of my pocket. I've now got one of these. I thought it'd be a lot easier. I don't use food all the time, but if you're someone who is using food as a tool for your dog a lot, these are a great thing. They clip on your side. You go for your walk. You use it as your reward system, obviously. So you're making your dog do it. Dog comes. Clara, sit. Good girl. Down. And food in. So easy to carry, doesn't make your pocket smell, keep your food in there like so. So you've got your gentle leader, check chain, your long lead, your short lead. I'm sure there's other equipment that people might use, but these are generally get you out of trouble to cover all your obedience. So it is worth investing. Definitely the long lead and the short lead and the pouch, and whether you do a check chain or a collar, that is up to you. So that's your equipment use that I think you need. Yeah, so let's get that, and then you can train your dog sufficiently and follow the course and not be wanting that lead. Let's be organised and get this gear and ready to go.